what you see, like a battery. I'm staying charged on my feet, I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like an assembly.
What's Gucci? Welcome to ZukaTube. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the Unholy movie, which came out on April 2nd and is now available for download, starring Jeffrey Dean Morgan. This is based off of a book by James Herbert called Shrine. And I'm going to read you the summary for this movie, which is generally the same summary as the book itself. And then we're going to watch the trailer. I'll give you some pros and cons, a little summary generally of how the movie goes. And then I'm going to go into some spoilers and tell you some other things that I kind of want to chat about, but I'll wait till the end for those things. But let's get right into this trailer here.
She's here.
Listen, I have a story for you. Something the Examiner will love.
Something the Examiner will love.
Possibly divine.
Look at him.
A girl performing miracles after
Looks
a
kinda just
visitation
like
from the Virgin Mary.
Strung out, dude.
Chicago,
Dressed like a
New
younger
York,
guy than
DC,
he is.
Every demographic on this planet is eating
My girl's
this
eyes
up.
rolling back like 30 days a
Mini
night.
exclusive.
Not rolling back, but
All right, I think I got this
turning
all
black.
set up. What do you say we do a couple real easy questions?
How many are gonna watch? Mary wants to reach as many people as possible.
As many people
Maybe
as possible.
millions.
They're using the whole
There are people out
online,
there that don't believe in your miracles.
social media,
How would you
news media
respond to
kind
those
of trope.
folks?
Listen to that weird
Seeing is
sound as my
believing.
man's legs start
And
working.
why do you think Mary
What?
chose you?
I opened myself up.
Oh, there's my
and
dude from
welcomed
Bill
her
and
in.
Ted.
Witnesses of the Virgin Mary draw millions of faithful each year. The Vatican has been tasked with
These priests, they get a little skeptical, but at the same time, they're very excited.
I have read several libraries worth on the supernatural.
Look at that. Creepy doll, dude.
Investigated half of
I
those
ain't having it.
miracles.
Don't mess with the creepy dolls.
Prove them all false.
Yeah, like nobody saw the blood running down that statue
You
at
think
some
there could
point,
be other
right?
forces at
Or
play
did
here?
they? Who knows?
When God builds a church, the devil builds a chapel
Mold in my man's ceiling.
next
ew.
door.
Don't doubt her. Doubt weakens faith.
See, when she said
Hail
that though,
Mary,
that don't
full of
sound like
grace. Pray
very
for us
godly,
sinners,
man.
now and at the
Sound
hour
dark.
of our death.
This is not the work of the Virgin Mary. It's
Damn
the
right
work
it
of
ain't.
the unholy. Faith in evil and power zero.
Believe in her.
not a huge fan of the
Offer
CGI.
Your souls to Mary.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, the Lord is with you.
This CGI is just so-so also. I'll say that. All right, so that's the trailer, and I'm going to give you the summary right now. It's a girl inexplicably gains the power to heal the sick after a supposed visitation from the Virgin Mary. As word spreads and people flock to witness her miracles, a disgraced journalist visits the small New England town to investigate. However, when strange events start to occur, he soon wonders if these phenomena are a result of something more sinister. Now, I'm going to say that this movie, from start to finish, is very predictable. Every typical horror trope, jump scare, the whole deal is in this general story of someone who you think is good that's not good, that whole deal. But in the beginning, it starts off in 1845 in the yard of the current church in present day, and there's a tree and a woman is being brutally executed by a priest and a group, right? Then it cues Jerry, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's kind of this like snarky guy. He drives out to this farm in modern day for a story, and he feels kind of scammed by it. It's a stupid thing with a cow spray painted or something, and he starts hearing voices at this creepy ass tree, and my man just goes for it, right? Finds this old doll that's chained up, chilling under the damn tree, and this dude does like the weirdest thing. You hear voices, you go to a tree, you see a creepy doll with chains on it, and you're like, I'm gonna smash it. What? Like, what are you, 5 years old, my dude? Like, so he breaks it and then, tries to use that as photos for like a scoop on paranormal stuff or whatever. Then he's trying to leave the town, and basically this broad's right up in traffic, like not in traffic, but in the middle of the road, and he crashes and then goes after her, and it goes right back to the tree. And this girl's like all whacked out. She passes out, whatever. Turns out she belongs to that church. Her uncle is the priest. And after this point, she starts kind of getting these abilities. She begins to be able to hear and speak after a whole life of not being able to do so. And very well. And everybody's like, well, that's weird. And then she starts healing people, and my man Jerry's like, oh man, I'm gonna use this for a good story. And they kind of play him off as this like kind of snarky dude, and like, but they try to make him seem like he's still kind of hip or smooth or whatever. I'm not really buying his character throughout the movie. It's a very stale character. It's not fleshed out in a way that makes you actually want him to succeed. You don't care as much about his character, I feel like, in this movie. But that's neither here nor there. Either way, he uses this as an opportunity to basically start investigating her for a good scoop and try to get, his reputation back. And at the same time, there's other priests and people getting involved that are trying to see if she's really, achieving these miracles and she's really a potential prophet, or if there is some kind of trickery going on, or even some kind of evil at play. And you kind of, it's not even worth really explaining the whole process of, that buildup happening. You generally have the idea of how these movies go, and that's pretty much how it goes. It's just a steady pace of slowly starting to show little increments of the evil. Little bit of evil, little bit of evil, little bit of evil, little bit of evil, and then it's like a lot of evil. And then you're like, oh man, dude, it's almost too late. We got to stop this. But basically, I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 10. Like, it's an agitating movie because the jump scares don't get you. The main character doesn't make you really feel any bit like he's that important or that you really care for his success or failures. You kind of like are like, whatever, you're kind of low life loser kind of dude. And to me, it didn't drive me very much. But obviously the main character, Alice, she does a good job. She's very creepy. But everybody else, I do like the priest. He's also very, very cool. The dude from Bill and Ted. Shout out. Maybe this is like a prequel kind of weird multiverse type of scenario where he, if let's say something happens and he could turn evil, what if he becomes death and then Bill and Ted movie happens? Or maybe not at all. But either way, I want to get to some spoilers because I already gave you my basic gist of how this movie is. Let's get into the spoiler section real quick. Spoilers. So spoiled. Woo! All right. So basically, after this whole thing breaks out and you find out this girl is totally evil and shit, right? She basically has Mary. Well, she doesn't know that Mary's doing this, but Mary has the ability to basically go off and kill motherfuckers. Like on her own, which would have solved a lot of her problems right off the bat. But either way, whatever. And Mary basically needs everybody to pledge to her. So Alice does this big ceremony at the end where they're filming and everybody's there in this tent around the tree and she's getting them to pledge to Mary. And then that's going to be like all hell's going to break loose. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, and he's going to stop it at this point, because he knows all the evil and he found out the whole story and the whole thing. You can watch that if you really want to know the details. But if you've seen it already and you're watching this just to see what I say, it was typical, right? But either way, everything sets fire because Mary gets vengeful when he tries to stop it. And this big thing happens and they get the big reveal of Mary, and it's this. Ew. But not very scary. She just touches my man, burns him in the chest. Heartburn to the next level. So that's basically what you look like. And the whole deal with the CGI in it, it's bad throughout. And then when they finally show her, it's just, it doesn't get you. That doesn't get you. Not a very enjoyable looking character. Actually, a lot more enjoyable with the mask on. A little bit more spooky for some reason. At least to me. But that's neither here nor there. Obviously, you hear in the trailer and everything the one kind of big quote that is the drive of the whole movie, right? And that's when the priest goes to him, when God builds a church, the devil builds a chapel next door. And that basically, it's hinting at the evils that may come from a buildup of faith in the area, that anywhere that there's a strong presence of God, there is evil right behind him trying to snatch them people out with some good old doubt. I didn't mean that to rhyme. That's just how it went. But either way, it was very, very just flat. It fell flat all the way through. I mean, the sound in this movie, the music or whatever, music choices or whatever, typical. At one point, though, they totally break you off with this like young teen pop music that I get they were doing for her, like as someone listening to music for the first time and all that. But man, when the scene cuts off from so serious to that was annoying. Obviously, I do not really care about Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character. And I just overall didn't enjoy this movie. It didn't really grab me. And even at the end, after that whole instance happened, they basically get to the point where it reflects on what the priest said, that Jerry may have been picked by God to overcome his demons and also stop this demon. And when basically the Mary character is about to kill him, Alice jumps in the middle. She ends up dying. He prays to God in the most unconvincing way, and she's brought back to life. And then you get the cue at the end where they show the Mary statue again, miraculously, that was cleaned, and nobody mentioned that it was bleeding out of its damn eyes. And they show it bleeding again and basically hint that since Alice is still alive and you didn't sacrifice her, so is Mary, and this could continue. And it just, like I said, didn't do much for me. At the end, they show a little scripture action, some Matthew 7:15. They say, message at the end that pops up, right? It's, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Again, like I said, typical old horror movie deal, typical tropes, and it's basically someone who seems like they're good and they are not. And it's actually the devil's work the whole time. And like I said, I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 10. I do not recommend this movie, not one bit. Hopefully we will get a better, religious horror movie or thriller that I can review in the future. But that's my review. Let me know what you think. Zookatube out.
I'm staying charged on my feet, I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like an assembly. I'm staying on point, it's my strategy. Feel like they tracking me. Yo, let me get on one. Nah, go get your tracks up. Homie, can I steal some? Homie, you can't stack up. My brother, can you shout me? You're barking up the wrong tree. My dog, why do you doubt me? Cause you can't do shit without me.
Real like the radio and never play it, but that's cool. The enemy's supposed to hate it.